What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Shin Biollante versus Cerberus. Beginning with the backstory of Cerberus. So Cerberus is a three-headed hound that guards the gate of Hades to prevent any souls from escaping. And when Cerberus, captures the souls, it drags them back into the pit of hell. Now, obviously, this is from Greek mythology, and Cerberus is an immortal creature. So the abilities goes as follows. I'm going to quickly skim over them. We're going to finish off Cerberus. Before we move on to Shin Biollante, we will do a deep analysis of each ability, so don't worry. But for right now, I'm going to do a quick skim. So ability skim goes as follows for Cerberus. Brute Strength, Quick Senses of Hearing and Smelling, Three-Head Attack, and Immortality. Height is around 198 meters after exposure to Shin Biollantes Radiation. So originally, Cerberus is around 15 feet tall, which would be an ant for Shin Biollante, right? But after being exposed to the radiation from Shin Biollante, when they are gonna fight very soon, assuming that they've already met, the radiation will cause Cerberus to have an exponential size growth, meaning he's going to be around 198 meters tall because of the radiation exposure from Shin Biollante. Aggression level is maximum, territorial level is maximum, biome is fire, any place that's fire. Now let's go back to the abilities, let's do a deep analysis. First we have brute strength. Because he is so big and strong, because of how thick his body is, or you could say thick his muscles are, he has pure brute strength. He can ram into his opponents, he can just do anything. Like, he's very strong, basically. After that, he has very quick senses of hearing and smelling. Now, smelling is a very powerful one because if he can't see Shin Biollante for some scenario, for some reason, he can smell him out, right? Now, most importantly, this hearing is the most important one, and I'll tell you why. Hearing for Cerberus means that he can hear exactly what body parts Shin Biollante is going to use for an ability, and he can quickly attack or have a counter set up. So he can hear when Shin Biollante is going to use, say, her tentacles, or something from her head, a type of ray or something, right? He can hear that right before it comes out, so he can quickly counter it. Versus another monster who wouldn't know, they would probably take the hit and then try to learn it. But he can actually learn this one. This is very interesting. And then we have three-head attack. Obviously Cerberus has three heads, meaning he can look at multiple places at once, see multiple things at once, and also have three heads to attack with. That's why I call this three-head attack. Finally, we have Immortality. Cerberus is immortal, alright? He can't die. Alright, that sums up Cerberus. Let's go ahead and move on to Shin Biollante. So, Shin Biollante came into existence when the coagulant that was sprayed into Shin Godzilla's mouth right before he froze. One of the small humanoids was able to fall off the tail before all of them froze. From a long fall, the humanoid was bleeding and looked for a place to rest, and happened to come across a field of roses, and thought that they could be food. The humanoid started eating all of the roses, and his DNA mixed with all the roses that he devoured, including the blood he spilled on the ones he didn't eat. The roses came alive and decapitated the humanoid and formed it into Shin Biollante. So now it's Biollante DNA mixed with Shin DNA. That's what this is all about. Now the height of Shin Biollante is approximately 252 meters tall. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a quick ability skim here. Ability skim goes as follows. Spiked Atomic Laser, 10,000 Tentacles, Tentacle Poison Laser, Regeneration, Instant Adaptation, False Heart Trap, and that's about it. Territorial level is high, aggression level is actually low, and biome is unlimited. And I'll explain that once we do a deep analysis of the abilities, and that's what we're about to do right now. So let's go back to the abilities and let's do this. First, we have the spiked atomic laser. Think of it like this. It has Shin DNA and Biolante DNA. Shin DNA is able to produce atomic lasers. So Shin Biolante can actually shoot the atomic laser, but it's a more powerful version because she is actually a rose. And roses have thorns, and there's these giant thorns stuck into the lasers. And every time she shoots the lasers, there's giant pieces of thorns that are gonna get shot out with it. So imagine a laser with giant thorns in it just ripping flesh. Not only is it a laser, but also has thorns in it. Very powerful. Flesh stripping ability. After that, we have 10,000 tentacles. Yes, Shin Biolante has 10,000 tentacles, where a normal Biolante would actually have only 4. It's kind of interesting here. But that's not it only. These tentacles have something called the Tentacle Poison Laser. Tentacle Poison Laser is an ability where each of them have their own mouth. There's 10,000 mouths for each tentacle. And what's gonna happen is all of those have their own mouths and their own lasers, and their lasers actually numb the opponent from feeling any harm being done to it. Now obviously this is a very powerful ability because if the opponent can't feel any pain, it can't go on defensive mode, and it could potentially lose a battle because it just doesn't know when to stop. So that's what that's used for. And then we have Regeneration. Shin Biolante can actually regenerate pretty quickly because of Shin DNA. Now going from that, Shin Biolante can actually have instant adaptation, or you could call it instant evolution. I'll tell you why. If you've seen the original movie of Shin Godzilla, you'll notice that Shin Godzilla has many forms. We go from Form 1 to Form 2 to Form 3 to Form 4, and then moving on into Form 5, when we don't finally see that. Well, we see a portion of it. And what happens is, the reason why he does this is he evolves and adapts to fit the situation, so he can walk on land, he can cool down, he can fight the military, whatever it is. He can evolve and adapt really quickly. Same with Shin Biolante. She can evolve and adapt quickly because of the same DNA. So she can quickly adapt into a way where she can cancel out almost all abilities of the opponent. It's very good. And finally, we have the false heart trap. What is this? As you see in the middle of Biolante, there's a big bulb of heart right there. That right there is actually, in the original Biolante, is a heart. In this one, it is evolved to be a false heart trap, where most opponents will think that that's Shin Biolante's heart, and they will actually target that. The heart of Shin Biolante is actually next to her brain in the head. This heart is a false heart trap, and what it does is it mirrors everything. So let's say if, for example, let's just say Godzilla, right? If Godzilla were to shoot Shin Biolante in the false heart trap, in the fake heart, the atomic breath would be mirrored back to Godzilla, or be reflected back. It's basically a mirror, as I said. It's a mirror blast. Okay, folks, this sums up Shin Biolante and Cerberus. Now we can go into the death battle. So here's the plan, folks. We're gonna go best out of 2. Well, actually, excuse me, let me do this. Before we get there, just so we can be all on the same page, before we actually skip to the death battle, let's do this. I don't want to miss this one. Let me explain to you why Shin Biolante Biome is unlimited, instead of just explaining it in the debate, in the final battle. The reason why her biome is unlimited is the same reason why she has instant adaptation and evolution, because of Shin DNA. For example, I already explained this, but I'll just do a quick explanation one more time. Shin Godzilla evolves and adapts to different situations to the way his body functions. So for example, if he was in space, he can adapt his body to breathe in space. If he was in lava, he can adapt his body to survive in lava. This is what it is. That's why Shin Biollante's biome is unlimited. Alright? Alright. Let's continue into the death battle. Best out of 2. Why do I do this? There's a specific reason. Close range and far range. We do far range to test the opponent's abilities out with limited abilities to see if they can still win a battle. And close range, just all out war, right? Alright, so here we go. We're gonna go far range first, and these opponents cannot, or we could just say Shin Biolante and Cerberus cannot come closer than 700 meters apart. So basically, they have to be 700 meters apart from each other. So let's see what abilities Cerberus can or cannot use when it comes to far distance. Brute strength, doesn't matter, can't send his brute strength out from 700 meters apart. It's just his strength. No, you could say defensive wise, but he can't really use it offensively in this case. Quick senses of hearing and smelling, yes, he can possibly counter Shin Biollante's things from going back and forth and trying to evade his ability or her abilities, but again, not still defensive. Three-head attack, defensive, and immortality, defensive. Interestingly enough, this has by far been probably very few of the opponents that I've ever had in this debate that have had no abilities to be able to use in far range. That's actually very rare. If you go through my debate videos, very rare that this ever happens. In worst case scenario, they either have one or two abilities they can still use, but Cerberus is at nothing. And Shin Biollante, well, we'll still go over Shin Biolante, see what she can use. Spiked Atomic Laser, she can use that. 10,000 Tentacles? No, obviously not. Only for defensive. Tentacle Poison Laser will not travel that far, so no. Regeneration, defensive, sure. Instant Adaptation, defensive, sure. False Heart Trap, no, it will not. Can't go that far. It can't mirror that far. But because that Cerberus cannot use anything in far range, he will have to forfeit this specific portion, giving 1-0 to Shin Biollante. This is why we do this. We're trying to see how powerful these opponents are from far range and close range. And obviously Shin Biolante is going to win in far range. I don't even need to go into battle. But if he were to do it, it would be something like this. She would use a Spiked Atomic Laser and just keep on spamming it with the, well, actually, that's about it, actually, I think. Yeah. That's all she could use. Even though Cerberus is immortal, he has no offensive ability to counter Shin Biollante. So just because he can't do that, that means he will be forfeiting. So 1-0 for Shin Biollante. Okay, now let's go into close range where both of these kaijus can battle. Now, let's take this into consideration. Yes, Cerberus is originally 15 feet tall after getting exposed to Shin Biollante's DNA. Well, not DNA, but the radiation. He is now 198 meters tall, as I said, from the radiation. But still, Shin Biollante is still quite a few more feet taller, 252 meters tall. So, what's going to happen? I truly believe that they're just gonna smack into each other. Shin Biollante with her brute strength and Cerberus with his brute strength just ramming into each other. It all comes to a point of who is smarter in battle. Now we have to notice that Cerberus has 3 heads, so meaning he can look in every direction and see almost every tentacle. What are they going to do? But Shin Biollantes has a wider range, so she can actually grasp onto Cerberus and pin him down. So as much as Cerberus can learn to or sense what she's going to do, there's 10,000 tentacles against 3 heads, and that's a big factor. That's a very big factor and a very big game changer in my opinion. And I believe even though if he were to, understand at least a few thousand of them, the other 8 or 7,000 tentacles are still free, and they're going to push him down. They're going to push and pin him down. And other than that, Cerberus really, when we go over his abilities, doesn't have much to offer except the 3 heads. Yeah, quick sense of hearing and smelling, brute strength. But strength, yes, he's strong, but Shin Biolante is stronger because she is larger. So, if she used to be on top, pushing Cerberus onto the ground with those tentacles wrapped around him, and just sending out spiked atomic lasers and the tentacle poison laser for half of them, and half of them just biting into the flesh of Cerberus. Cerberus is immortal and cannot die. However, it doesn't mean he cannot lose. And obviously, at this point, I believe Shin Biolante can just push him down deep into the ground. And remember, she can adapt and evolve, meaning she can actually detach tentacles from her body and regrow once to make it 10,000 again, and those others can be agents by themselves, as in living alone by themselves, and they can wrap around Cerberus, always constantly evolving and growing and growing and regrowing, because they can adapt and evolve and regrow and regenerate, and they can keep him locked under the ground as a prisoner to Shin Biollante till the end of time. And that's how I see Shin Biollante winning this at 2-0. 1-0 in the beginning because of forfeit of no ability to be used in far range for Cerberus, and this one, well, this is the reason why. So I believe Shin Biollante will win this 2-0. Obviously, this is just my opinion. You can debate me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please consider subscribing. Share this with your family and friends. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day, and I just cannot wait until next year for Godzilla vs. Kong. A lot of content coming till then. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a wonderful, great, amazing, perfect day. God bless everyone.